Hello everybody and welcome back to the Library of Ruina. Alrighty, so, two things. Number one, apparently the ego pages in the brand new Floor of History have been changed. I didn't know that, so real quick, I'm just gonna let you see what they do. Icarus Flight is only usable by Malkuth. Last Hope's Ascension is, well, as we saw in the previous episode, quite a strong one. Conflagrating Soul. If you are emotion level 5 or higher, it is pretty strong. Inconsolable Grief. We know it, we love it. It's done many a damage to us. And finally, an upgraded version of 4th Match Flame. So, that being said, that was the first thing I wanted to bring up. Second thing, it is finally time for us to show off every single one of our builds that we have put together over time. So, this is going to take me a hot minute. However, I've been telling you guys I'm going to do it for a while, so I'm just going to open up the video with that. So, buckle in. So, we're going to start with Malkuth. Obviously, she is a primarily burn deck with a lot of Philip-related things. For some reason, we can't use the realized pages or passives on her. Obviously, this one wouldn't even work because we don't have enough, but still. Stigma Workshop for more burn, Nuovo, because we get some extra passives out of it, Lock Potential, Easygoing, Breather, they all work quite nicely together. Kilana, using Jenny's page. She is primarily like a really heavy stagger damage type character, 12 fixers, Raven implants, and half-bake courage, mainly as a just-in-case. Her whole thing is that she is going to take a lot of damage, but after a while, she is basically going to become invincible. She just has to get low health to do it. Gregory Adalis, the master of RNG himself, and the creator of Exodia. Multiple ways to just completely ignore power gain or loss. High power generator because we're spending a ton of light on his effects. Kinetic plating to make him a bit tankier. Grit to make him more stagger tanky. And flaming bat, because you never know when you're gonna need a little bit more burn. Kyle is primarily I inflict burn on you and the enemy kind of deck. Stigma Workshop obviously working quite well with that. Candlelight doing much the same. And then I went for a bit of discard synergy, mainly because I think discard is really good. Double Brace Up obviously is going to be drawing us 3 pages per turn for 0 cost, and it restores 1 light. That's a pretty powerful effect. And Gas Mask Dave, who is, as we know, the master of the multi-hits. And we also are kinda stealing a bit of the RNG factor with Quantum Leap and Dimensional Sections and Stiletto, because we have so many Pierce die that we may as well make them stronger. Then we move to Yes Odds Floor. He is primarily a max charge character. His big thing is that he wants to be super high on charge so that we can get use out of the Commander, Maximum Crash, and also Astral Resonance, which is going to be empowered basically every single turn. It's quite strong. Not Aeon is the amalgamation that we know and love. Can't be staggered, but can be debuffed. Basically the perfect Unity, no, Blade Unlocked deck. Unity is different. Survivor, because we're gonna get staggered basically all the time. Nay, Woof Woof, and back, because, I mean, come on, it's the page for it. And Locked Potential, because we are pretty good at using multiple versions of pages. Now, I did do a light rework of his deck, so I don't know if it's going to go off as easily anymore, but we do have Unlock, and then we do have 5 unique pages, so I think it should still go off Blade Unlocked relatively easily. It just might be a little bit harder now. But I think the effects will still be worth it. Ingvar, the master of his sister's blade, is ready to hack and slash whatever might come against us. HP Ampule, because we have so much health and we start with 75% less. Battle Ready, obviously drawing is always good. And Dark Cloud Blade, because, I mean, come on, it's a slash deck. Mao! It's basically just full-on Grey Tempest page, like, I was trying to do some other stuff with her, but I think just double dipping into Grey Tempest is definitely the way to go. Breaking Pressure, Easygoing Breather, and Toughness, just for a little bit of longevity in fights. Then we have Icebox, the true claw. He cannot be staggered, and he has 15% more health, of which he already has a ton, so 15% of 126. Yeah, he's pretty good. He's literally just the claw. Then we move on to Hod's floor. By the way, if you're wondering why I keep pausing while talking, it's because the game sort of hitches and locks up, and I know it's going to interrupt me, so I take a second to let the game adjust. But you already know this page like the back of your hand. The only thing that I did change is I replaced the singleton page that draws 3 with Shatter the Precipice. I think we'll get a little bit more use out of it, especially with a lot of the decks we're going against. Lock Potential, Easygoing Breather, Deep Wound, and Reindeer Treatment for a bit of a comeback mechanic. Sheeta, the Purple Tear, and Purple Protector. Every deck is a bit different, but we primarily use the Guard deck. Obviously, Slash is all about Slash. Pierce is actually all about debuffing, because you apply a little bit more with the Pierce. Blunt is all about Blunt, as you might have expected. And Guarding is all about guarding. As for the passives, we have Logistics Support for a bit of healing, Adjust Stance just in case we fall behind, and Justice to make sure that everyone is protected under the gaze of Sheeta. Then we move to Sarah, who is still using Barrel's full page. Obviously, we can't change the pages that are being used. And for passives, we have Instincts and Your Shield. You can never go wrong with 3 extra defensive power. And Keenness, which gives us another one. I mean, most of our pages are defensive, so to me it just makes the most sense to quadruple dip, especially when we can recycle our evasion dice. Crimson! Some of you know her quite well. What we're gonna do for Crimson is we're gonna be debuffing with the power of sadism. We're gonna be bleeding with the power of the Bloody Mist. And obviously, Digging Shank, Razor Strike, Offensive, Position, Sadism, and Passion. Just because it gives us a little bit of extra power. Caius, once again, has the Magical Girl of Fictions page. And he's back to complete and full power. Including with the 12 Fixers and Toughness, both for some longevity in fights. +2 minimum to all pages is extremely strong, and combine that with +3 maximum, he's got some real potential. On to Netzak's floor. Netzak obviously is just a brick regen wall. Debatably, he's even tankier than Icebox is, just because he has so much regen, though Icebox is still quite the tank. For passives, we have Kizuna, which starts us with 75% less health, because, hey, we got a regen, HP Ampule, and Solidarity. Hoorah! Utilizing the power of self-paralysis, we have Collision Voltage and the 12 fixers with Electric Shock. It's kind of hard to lose fights when we're gaining so much extra roll value while also debuffing the enemy's roll value. That's not to say it's perfect, but it does work quite well. Electro with Facey Randy is our second paralysis member of the floor. And with them working together, it's real good. Unrelenting because we don't want to die. Eye of Death Innervation because there's got to be something to it that I just don't quite understand. Neigh, Woof Woof, and Bark with a chance for Electric Shock. Basically just continuing the mass paralysis theme. Sam with Shrene's Page. She's primarily a decay, do % health damage to enemies while also buffing up allies kind of deck. Currently using Rejuvenation, Healthy, and Toughness, just so she basically can't die. And while we do still have 2 costs that we could use, we're unfortunately out of slots. Not to mention this floor is so overall hard to kill that I figured, hey, just having a bit more regen with extra % health is really good. We then have Isabel, who is using Eunice's soul, or it's Eunice. It's probably Eunice because unicorn, haha. But basically just like, now it's weird. The double frozen bullet is literally just so we can use them and have less pages that we are drawing and using. I know that's maybe a little bit of a waste, but hey, that's what I'm doing. Also, for some reason, Incomplete Soul keeps toggling off. I don't know why. Maybe there was an update to the fight and that got rid of our passive. I really don't know. But for our passives, we have Finishing Touch because it's very strong. Tactical Reload because we do have a couple ranged pages, and Fervor because you can never go wrong with extra power. Usually. And we move on to Tiferet, who is still using Tifereth's own page. Very, very powerful page. We are basically just playing her as if she's Gabura. 2 of all of her special pages with Arcana Break. And for passives, we have, you guessed it, the 12 fixers with the 11 fixers and Passion. Yeah, very, very good. She just rolls so freaking high. And that's not even taking into account the fact that Expectations raises the maximum even more. Amaterasu is using Irina's page, and basically, he is a bit of a charge, I'm gonna lose every clash kind of page, because why would I even bother winning? Nothing matters. To make use of Clown Show. Then we have Whispering, it's the floor for it, Triple R Suit, Bionic Charge Synchronized Hull because protection, and Maximum Crash. So that we're taking even less damage. So yeah, Amaterasu's thing is literally just, I'm gonna lose so that I win. Kinsey, once again using the Magical Girl of Courage's fixed deck page. Overall, tried to just make her as tanky as possible. But we also gave her a ton of comeback mechanics, such as Rhino Procedure, Reindeer Treatment, Mental Checkup, and Scrim Prescript with a side of Emergency Rations. So every single turn we are going to be regenning, and then even if we get super low health, that's just going to work out for us because she does have the passive, excuse me. English is my first language, could you tell? She's going to have the passive where she has to lose clashes because that will go towards Courageous, which, you know, I figure a little bit of comeback mechanics with Courageous is quite strong. Sosa is using Mare's page. Mare's? It's basically a singleton deck. You know it, you love it, and I love my singleton pages. For passives, lock potential, breaking pressure, easygoing breather, and immediate repairs, because getting staggered is annoying and we don't want to do it. Overall, very, very powerful floor so far, but that's before we even get to Lily, who is using Persona's page. Overall, it's basically just Dark Magical Girl, the build. I think it is a very, very powerful glue for the floor. Reason being, she's buffing everyone up basically every single turn, while also debuffing enemies and healing allies. We have Encourage, Passion, and Eye of Death, Innovation. Overall, pretty good. Then, moving on to Gebura's floor. Her passives have literally never changed since we got them. Still using Mio's prowess, although we did smack on 12 fixers with the Puffy Broom. And yes, I did take 12 fixers literally. There's probably 12 of them that I'm using. But that's because it's such a good passive. It's just kind of expensive. Roberta is using Barim's page. Basically, I mean, you've seen it in action. This page is so much fun. It's tanky. It does a ton of damage. The only thing is that it has a bit of a glass cannon element because we are weak to slash and normal to everything else. But we have Smoke Addiction, Internal Combustion Engine to make smoke a little bit easier, and Masterful Smoker to get a little bit more power. Overall, it works pretty well. Evo Knight is using Dong Juan's page. I tried to make him as tanky as possible, but obviously Dong Juan isn't the tankiest, but his page is still really, really good. And he also does apply a few extra effects that help us out quite a bit. But for passives, we have Smoke Addiction, Masterful Smoker, Smoke Amplifier, and Puffy Broom. Yeah, it's a smoke floor. Although, I still hold true to the fact that I suck so bad with smoke decks, but I feel like having an entire floor with a mega DPS and a healer has actually helped me quite a bit. We then have Eileen. She's pure smoke. I mean, I'm pretty sure you saw that coming. But yeah, she is complete and pure smoke. Internal Combustion Engine, Stimulating Flames, Smoke Amplifier, and Sense Barrier Mask, which is going to give her even more power to work with. And then, of course, Myra is using Florence's page. Though, honestly, I do need to work on this deck a little bit, because we have a little bit too much counter dice for this page to get full use. So consider this one a work in progress. It's a singleton smoke deck with a bit of healing. And we have Kizuna, Encourage, Puffy Broom, and Emergency Rations. All of that healing is, of course, contributing towards Sacred Swan Song, so that we can potentially get a huge mass dissemination page, which will heal everyone. We then moved on to Cheese's floor, which is basically Angela's floor if you really want to think about it. But you already know what this floor is. Pure unity. But as for passives, Mind Hauler, Health Hauler, Scab, and Hyper Absorb. Overall, it is a very risky way to do things, but I find that it works quite well when we're all using Unity. Not to mention, a lot of us are doing the singleton Unity thing because of, where is it? Hang on, Unity Highlander. But Ivan Co is, honestly, everyone except for Bong Bong is using a Radiant Office Fixer, so just, it's the same thing. The passives are like very, very slightly different, but we're all using Unity decks. Mind Hauler, Health Hauler, Solidarity, and Kizuna. Grapes on Vine, using different Unity pages, but still a full Unity deck all the same. Kizuna, Solidarity, and Fervor, because he's a bit more aggressive. We then have Cozy, who's trying to fly off the screen just a little bit, using even more different Unity pages, with the passives of Kizuna, Encourage, and Offensive Position. Because when you worship the star, you're gonna be a little bit crazy, and that's gonna make you a bit fragile. And of course, Bang Bang, using Mio's page. The empowered one, of course. She is a Unity smoke deck, and honestly, it works very, very well. I think you could make most things work with this deck. It doesn't even have to be Unity. You can make smoke work, you can make haste work. It just works. For passives, we have Rabbit Augmentation for more haste, Internal Combustion Engine to make smoke a little easier, and the 11 Fixers to boost up our rolls. We then move on to Bina, who is, of course, an Arbiter, as her name implies. Basically, it's Bina, just a little bit buffed up. Arbiter's Fragment, Rejuvenation, Healthy, Veteran Marksmanship, and Empowered First Shot. Yeah, she's all about pure ranged because that's quite literally all she does. Marcos Jr. with Giamontague's page, because we still have to find a way to channel that magical girl persona in some way or another. Not to mention Marcos Jr. with Giamontague's page is so ridiculously tanky, and we're doing so much healing that it is just so nice. Encourage, you already know why, and Love. Yeah, it's literally just mass tank, mass healing, the true magical girl way. Yukari with the Blood Fiendish deck. Yeah, it's literally all about taking bits of yourself to deal mass damage to the enemies. Quite a bit of self-healing. We make literally no use out of the self-bleed. But what are you gonna do? Reindeer Treatment, because we're all but guaranteed to be low health. Rhino Procedure for the same reason. Suganari Fatigue, because we're doing so much healing that being half health is fine. And Unrelenting, just in case a mistake is made. Azazel Reynolds with the Claw Maze deck. Yeah, Azazel is ridiculously strong. He has decently weak pages for the most part, but they're so buffed up that it doesn't even matter. And of course, he is an OP Claw. With the passives of Deal with the Reaper so you can't even kill him the usual way, and Locked Potential. We then move to Sombor, who is very much quite the intellectual person, if you were to ask me. Giga strong in very, very elongated fights. The longer a fight goes, the stronger Sombor gets. And if it wasn't for the glasses being requested, I would go with... this one. Finally Aged Experience. Sombor is all but guaranteed to make it to the 11th scene, so he'd get quite a bit of use out of it. But the glasses were requested, so +1 stagger resist it is. And we are using Specified Strategy, Information Renewal, and Evaluate Information with a side of nothing. I was originally going to use some of Tanya's passives, but it didn't end up working out. Yeah, basically just win clashes, win more clashes, which makes you survive into the late game, which makes you basically so hard to kill that, for the most part, you're really just not. But if he does get staggered, he is, of course, very vulnerable, especially with all normal resistances. Now, Incomplete Angela and her entourage of devout followers. So her deck has undergone a few changes. Basically, what I've landed on is trying to just get White Knight's true form out as quickly as physically possible throughout this floor. Our passives show that because Network of Thoughts, so that we all raise an emotion level. Inorganic Ego, because meh. Hannah for all, because, hey, giving more stats around is good. Mental Checkup, and Grit. Just to try and prevent the self-staggering, because boy oh boy, does Angela get staggered real easily, especially because of her own passive. We then move to Caden Ryder, who's using a Singleton Ujats page, which is all about buffing up and keeping other allies alive. With the passives, of course, being Network of Thoughts, Solidarity, the Boss's Orders for more protection, like I said, and it works pretty well. Abby is using the Pale Librarian's page because she's basically the tank of the floor, but her deck is all about supporting allies. With the passives of Hannah for all, so that we can spread around our buffs a little bit more, Adjust Stance, just in case we lose some clashes, and Nuovo Fabric, just to give her that little bit of extra edge. Then, Dietrich Floyd with the true locked potential build, but it's still all about buffing up allies, but we do get quite strong because of Solidarity and Blade Unlock. Network of Thought, Solidarity, and Boss's Orders. Before we finish with Annabelle, who is using an Ujats page, largely the same build that you have been seeing. It's all about supporting allies and making sure that everyone stays alive. Network of Thought, Solidarity, and the Boss's Orders once again. Now, there's a little bit of variation for the final floor, being Ian's version and Roland's version. There's only technically two things that change, but still. Ian is all about being as tanky as possible. He does have a fixed deck, so not really much to be changed there. But for passives, we have Encourage, Evaluate Information, and Adjust Stance. Overall, just a very defensive deck. Sally is using Elster's page. I would be using the Devourer of Gods or Sigale, the masked light girl dodge one. You know the one. I would be using either one of those, but unfortunately, neither are working as properly intended, which is very big sad. But this is a bit of a weird deck. Basically, it's like a mass charge deck because it gets converted into ammo, which we then use for our aggressive pages. So we get charge to spend charge to do big damage. And, it makes sense when you put it that way. Madness, because Sally has been going through quite a rough time. Tactical Reload, because we have ranged pages. And the 12 Fixers, because it's real good. Then we have Vera, who is a master of her blade, and she wants it to be known. She's just pure slash. Especially with Health Hauler, Unrelenting, and Swordplay of the Homeland. Just for a little bit of extra sauce. Then, with the Book Hunter, her deck, honestly, once I landed on this variation of it, I think this one is my favorite one. It makes her her passive of Knowledge a lot easier to manage. Triple Book Acquisition, triple Memories of a Star, I honestly think is the way to go, because draw, light, it's just really good. And of course, Unrelenting, Emotion Amplification Module, and Overclock, to try and give her a little bit of staying power in elongated fights. And then we finish with Dark Carmen, who has a variation of Roland's deck with the Black Claw. Basically, it's evil Giga Claw Roland, and it's very good. As for passives, they are kind of enforced. Serum K, Manifest Ego, Executioner Roland, Mental Checkup, and Mind Hauler. For the other 2 pages on this floor that are kind of cycled in and out, depending, we have Roland himself, the Black Silence. His page has very largely never changed, ever, though he's no longer quite as a solo character as we once had him. 12 fixers, you know it, combo, Raven implants, and Keeping in Stride. And to finish it off, Angelica is the final deck here. It's honestly just the hand-in-hand version for Roland. They do have a combo thing going on, and honestly, having a second Roland on the floor is just so nice. For passives, we have Manipulator of Odds, 12 fixers, the final one, and Offensive Position. And there you have it. That is every single build that we have. Obviously, do I rely on a lot of the same passives? Yes. Look, I'm not gonna say I'm the most creative build person in the world. I see big number, I choose big number. I think that's fair enough, honestly. I think that's how a lot of people play this game. But there is a couple unique builds in there, and obviously I feel that every build does have a decent amount of uniqueness to it. But this is kind of where everything has landed after so long in the series. But every build has also kind of changed with time. Not every build right now is how it was when we first started the modded adventure versus how we're doing now. But that being said, that was every single build, and it's time to do some receptions. I was originally going to go over all the pages that everyone was using as well, but well, we're already 30 minutes in, and haven't even played a mod yet, so I decided not to do that. Although, I'm sure quite a few of you guys might have enjoyed that. Debatably, I could have just done a full episode about builds, but, well, I didn't. A couple months after the expulsion of the library from the city. Roland, I thought I told you to stop getting sand all over the insides of the library.
Sorry, but I came here as fast as I could. I just wanted to say that it seems like your idea of exploring the nearby outskirts near the library finally got us something good.
What have you found then?
Well, past the sand and bones of beasts, I actually ended up digging something up on accident mid-fight against one of those giant monsters.
What is that?
Who knows? To be honest, I was hoping you could figure it out. I only brought it back because it was the first thing I found that wasn't trying to kill me out there. Made me really tired when I tried to hold it though, so I had to store it in my gloves. Angela?
It's interacting with the light somehow. It's unable to do much, but I can feel it calling out to the library.
Oh. Well, if it's messing with the light, then that might explain why it made me tired just by holding it. Who knows what it wants with the library? Oh boy, just when I thought we finally found something useful out here. It might be better if I went back outside and let it get buried in the sand again.
Actually, I wish to try something with it.
Didn't you say it was trying to call out to the library? We don't really know what's going to happen if we give it what it wants. And honestly, I'd rather not find out. Nothing I've encountered in my expeditions led to anything good.
I would prefer to try and do something about our current predicament than do nothing. Anything correlating to the light will prove to be useful.
Well, Guess that's that then. You're the boss, ma'am. I'll just be resting on my floor if you need anything. I've been itching to rest for a while now.
Thank you, Roland, for your hard work. Enjoy your break.
No problem, Angela.
Where?
It appears that giving it a bit of light worked.
Light? What kind of gibberish are you even talking about? And where are we?
I suppose that's a fair reaction. My name is Angela, the director and librarian of my role's namesake. We are currently in said library somewhere in the outskirts.
Lot of things you're saying there, Angela. But if we're in the outskirts, I can't help but wonder how you were able to build something as grand as this place without it being destroyed.
The library wasn't built on the outskirts. It was relocated here from the city.
Relocated? Must have been one heck of an investment if those city dwellers made something like this to be handled by a machine. Well, whatever it is you're after, I don't want a part of it. We left the city behind all those years ago.
That's a hard voice to do. The library wasn't relocated by the netizens of the city, but by the head itself after it considered it an impurity upon the city.
The head? Wait, if you're all the way out here, then why?
It appears there's a lot of things for me to explain. However, it would be remiss for me to give my side without even knowing your name, especially when I myself have my own questions about you.
It's been a long time since I had any sort of interaction that wasn't with the raving beast. Very well then, Angela. You may call me Osiris. I'll answer your questions best I can, as long as you stay truthful as you've been thus far.
Very well. Although I will call upon a dear friend of mine once I begin asking questions.
Sometime later. You called?
So this is the dear friend you've spoken about so much.
The heck happened while I was gone?
A story for another time, Roland. I called you here to help ask questions concerning Osiris.
Interrogate more like, but a deal's a deal.
Guessing that's Osiris then? Some kind of darkened scythe or something? You really put me on the spot here, Angela. I have no idea what's even going on here. Why don't you go first and I'll follow up?
Very well. Osiris, what is your connection to the light?
From what you've told me about this light so far, it seems to be heavily related to emotions, or the freeing thereof. Whatever the disease of the mind is, the light helps to cure it, letting people express themselves more freely and honestly.
Okay, I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep up that voice.
Emotions are what power me. They are the key to my abilities. Thus, the light empowers me. Which is why you felt my very being calling out to the library. A veritable tree of life to someone like me.
I guess it's my turn. Why did you get all verbose all of a sudden?
Explanations require more delicacy than simple conversation.
What abilities do you have?
I can see that you're hiding something, Angela. Why don't we skip all the dilly-dallying and tell me what you're really looking for?
Hey, I don't appreciate you talking to my friend like that, but truth be told, I'm honestly curious as well. It's not like you to try and dance around a subject.
I simply wish to ask for your help in restoring the library.
That's it?
The difficulty for asking simple assistance when you've gotten too used to doing everything yourself or being ignored is a harsh one, I will admit. But it's good that you're at least willing to face it. Very well. I shall give my help best I can. It's what an old friend of mine would have wanted. Though how much I can give depends on what you need my assistance with, of course.
Well, you already know I'm here for you, so what's it that you need his help for?
I have a theory in mind, specifically concerning Osiris's nature and how he can interact with the light. If it's right, then we might be able to maximize the effects of the light and gather more books without having to invite another guest, using what we have left over. While most of the contents of the books were released during the second release of the Seed of Light to bring everything back, we still have the stories themselves. With Osiris's help, we might be able to simulate them as we did with Callie.
Which means more books for us. Huh, we might actually have a way out of this mess. Or make it less of a pain at the very least. Living in the outskirts is a bit of a hassle, even inside the library.
While I can't guarantee we're gonna be able to do it exactly how you wanted, the theory is quite sound. I'm not too against it, seeing as how I don't need to become a book.
Well, Roland, do you have anything to say?
Well, you two are probably more versed in this topic than I'll ever be. That sounds good to me. Got any ideas on who we should start with?
Personally, I'd like to start with the Liu Association. My old partner had encounters with them before. I wish to see if the Liu Association still holds a candle to what they were back then.
Well, I think you're gonna be in for a treat.
Then let's get the first simulation started.
And start it does with the Vermilion Sun Lixin, and also Primum Memoria Ordens Voluntatem. Did I say any of that right? Blessing in Disguise. Whenever the emotion level rises, draw a page. At emotion level 5 or above, restore 1 light at the start of the scene. Otherwise, a speed die becomes unavailable. Enlightener of Daytime. All dice gain +1 power when clashing. When inflicting burn using combat pages, inflict the same amount of burn to another enemy with the least burn. And Stashing Flame. Enshrouded in Flesh. Gain 2 counter/die 4 to 8 with the effect on hit, inflict 2 burn at combat start, and Fervor. Double Brazen Approach. Draw 1 page and inflict 1 burn. Journey to the West. The cost of this page equals personal emotion level +1, so it can cost 6 at max. Gain plus natural roll times emotion level power. On hit, inflict natural roll burn. This page's cost times. Right. Double Fleeting Glimpse. On hit, inflict 1 burn, inflict 2 burn, and counter dice. On hit, gain 1 haste next scene. Dominant Solar. Combat start when inflicting burn. With combat pages next scene, deal 2 damage and stagger damage to the target. Gain 1 strength and endurance next scene. On clash when inflict 2 burn, on hit inflict 1 burn. Double Strong Deflect costs 1 less at emotion level 3 or higher, and 1 less at emotion level 5 or higher. On clash when restore 1 light, on hit restore 1 light and inflict 1 burn. And Furious Storm. Combat start, dice from pages with an effect involving burn, gain +2 power for this scene. Wow. On hit, if target has 4 or more burn, inflict 1 burn to all enemies. And now we move to the Liu Association's Rising Star, Nia. Distant fire engulfing the earth. On a successful hit, inflict 1 burn to the target and 1 burn to 2 random
enemies. Boost the minimum roll value of all dice by +1 for every 10 burn on all enemies, up to 2.
Constitution of Heaven and Earth.
When a die this character plays rolls the minimum value or the maximum value, the die gains +1 power and then an additional emotion point. So that would be really good on HOD's floor, where there's that the page where you can only roll maximum or minimum. And Fervor. Triple Brazen Approach, triple Fleeting Glimpse, strong Deflect, and Fenhua? Combat start when inflicting burn using combat pages as seen. Inflict 1 additional stack. 13 to 28, deal additional damage and stagger damage by the target's burn. Ho! And a Liu Section 3 Director's Page. Ardor. All dice gain +1 power at emotion level 4 or higher, your shield, and Fervor. Triple Brazen Approach, Songs of Chu. On use, if at emotion level 3 or less, add Light to hand. Otherwise, add the dice on it to this page. On clash win, destroy the opponent's next page. And the light page is single-use melee combat, and it does /4 to 9 on hit, inflict burn by the natural roll. Dominant Solar, Fleeting Glimpse, and double strong Deflect. These weapons they're holding are so sick looking. Like, they look like a mixture of Liu and the Ujat, which obviously I know they're not, but I don't know, that's what that reminds me of.
Anyway, let us go. Starting with the magic barrier, which unfortunately does not work. Fervent emotions. That way we're able to get a decent amount of damage out straight away. Despairingly stigmatized, which basically does next to nothing. Lean, bloody wings. Also getting a damage proc, luckily for us. Shockwave, unfortunately not quite working out. Incinerated Impact. Going very, very well, though. Multi-slash, making it so we have plenty of resources. Proximity. Also doing more than enough. Now, apparently there's 2 ways to do this. So I'm gonna go the Malkith way. Okay, and it just immediately goes to her. Okay, well, I was gonna put it on her anyway, but... Now, Rekindled Strike and Blazing Strike are empowered, so let's see. On use, inflict 3 burn to self. Reduce the cost of a copy of Blazing Strike by 1. That page also loses its emotion level restriction, and gain on use, inflict 5 burn to self, and draw 2 pages. Also inflicts 6 burn. Yeah, let's go ahead and stop this damage from going off, and then we'll just see what happens from there. I don't want to go for any of these at emotion level 5 or higher. Dwindling Twilight, I also kind of want to hold on to, so I think we're just going to go for a Shockwave. Let's see, we could go for Abundance on Kelana. Then we could go for Flagellant. Why not? Why not? Pessimism, I think, is a lot worse. We're going to go with Lady in the Lamp. That way we can ignore our reduced power. I'm going to go for Double in the Name of Justice just to try and get some healing. We do have burn, so I'm going to go for Chi-Wen. And then I'm also going to go for a Shockwave. Then, Mr. Gas Mask Dave, you could very well go for a Trash Disposal, and I think you're going to do just that. Then we're going to try and deal with all of these counter dice. And this should work out pretty nice. This will also be a ton of burn being spread. Okay, Trash Disposal. We do get a decent amount of damage, even without Exodia going, spreading quite a bit of burn between our 3 enemies. Chi-Wen making it so we're not going to take... we'll take 9 burn, all things considered, which isn't great, but it's also not the end of the world.
Okay, tiny bit of healing coming down from Gregory Adalis. And then a lot more coming down from his next page. Shockwave also spreading some more burn. Double Shockwave doing it even better. And we are really getting into things now. Now, I do think I want everyone to take less burn damage because it's starting to stack up pretty bad. This is gonna gain 2 power. You know what? Let's stop that, and then we can just go for a regular brace up. Then, could go for Blazing Strike, which is going to get us a ton of draw, even if it doesn't hit. So we're just gonna go for it. Then, I kind of think I want to go for Fierce Spirit, just to really see what happens, you know? So I think we're going to do just that. Now, Kelana, if you would be so kind, I would love for you to try and get a stagger. You're definitely not going to stagger him, so let's go for Instinct Release. We don't have the OPOP. However, let's do Benefit Might. And I guess Pessimism. Ugh. Probably should have done Flagellant, though. Let's go ahead and go for a Mass Attack in both of our slots. Then we're going to go for Sweep Them All because we did just use it. And I'm going to go for Lean Bloody Wings to spread out more damage.
The Scourge. Rolling basically nothing.
And then
the Deluge. A skeletal figure reveals itself.
Okay, remove Whip, doing a good amount of stagger damage, all things considered. Instinct Release, not fully working out for us. Combusting Courage is going to give us a lot of fire protection, as well as spreading fire ourselves. Oof, Counter Dice unfortunately doesn't do anything. Sweep Them All. Also, basically doesn't do anything. We are going to get a lot of our resources back, not to mention we are very, very close to getting a stagger. Combined with the burn damage that we're doing, that should be really, really good. Now, I don't think that there's another Malkuth one here, is there? Yeah, I don't think so. Just a couple rerolls, just to be curious. We do have Stigma Workshop, so what I think we're gonna do is we're gonna do that. Okay, and that should give us all a lot of good stagger regen. Let's see. Ignited Bravery. Only 1 copy of this page can be held at a time. On use, gain 1 strength for every 5 burn on self. So we'll only get 1, but if target has 10 or more burn, inflict burn to other characters. Yeah, that does sound nice. Yeah, in fact, I think we are just gonna go for that. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Magic Missile. Wow, losing every single one of its clashes, but that is mostly fine. Okay, we try and do a bit of shock, bit of stagger damage. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite work. Ignited Bravery, gonna spread plenty of burn to everyone around. Waned Evertide, also going to help us out a little bit. Trash Disposal coming down, damage proc going off, and we miss the 50% again. Very, very unfortunate. By the way, sorry I'm sniffling again. I don't know why. I'm pretty sure there's a ton of pollen in the air because it's been raining recently. But hey, what are you gonna do? It is what it is. But I think I've been keeping it to a minimum. Double Chi Win is gonna prevent most burn damage. I think I am gonna go for Willpower Scorched Ego. Malkuth spends burn to recover an equal amount of HP. Yeah. Now, why not? We'll do Inconsolable Grief. Now, I know Malkuth has Nuovo fabric. Also, her appearance has changed. Wow. Looking pretty nifty there, Malkuth.
Now, let us unleash the upgraded inconsolable grief, which becomes scorching desperation.
A ton of damage going off, and now only Lixin remains. We are going to try and apply as much burn as physically possible, not to mention we are also getting a little bit of bleed in there. Brace Up, unfortunately, doesn't work out for us. Will of the Prescript is going to allow us to draw. We don't get a damage proc, but that's fine. Deal with the Devil, unfortunately, doesn't work out either. But with how much burn we are doing, we're in a really, really good spot. Now, honestly, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go for Rekindled Strike, Blazing Strike, and Incinerated Impact, and then I'm just going to let the dice roll. Someone used the freaking page that makes them not... Oh. Apparently I shouldn't have done that, because we paid the price. Also, what the heck is this? Condition Insanity, that's fine. Chaos. Promised. 5 more steps. Wait, what? Wait, I've never seen what using that page actually does? This is the first time I've ever seen this? What is this? Draw 2 pages, gain 2 strength, 3 light. Wait, 5 more steps. Are we supposed to use these in order? Wow. Sorry, my confusion maybe shouldn't be as, like, upfront as it is, but you know what? I've literally never used the page where you spend a ton of your health to skip the scene, because, honestly, why would I? But, apparently it has a pretty strong effect. I'm just gonna go for Shockwave and let this fight kind of play itself out. Ah, and Lixin retreats. At least for the moment. Huh. Well, apparently that page has a little bit more to it than I thought. Fair enough.
That was a lot harder than I expected. Who even were those 3? Some of their techniques were a bit familiar to what Leo had when they were invited to the library, but I've never seen some of those moves from the ones we had to fight.
2 of them seem to have retreated to the entrance of the library.
Yeah, and that's giving me major deja vu. I was hoping for a couple nameless fixers for our first, but that was like fighting Liu's Section 1 all over again. Hoping neither one of them manifests ego like Zhao did, but, I don't know if we're gonna be able to handle it as well as we did back then when the library was a star of the city.
Right.
You saying that does just tell me that there's, more than enough to go through with that.
Osiris?
Neo.
The girl?
Yes, her. She was my partner.
Wait, that was her partner? I thought you said she had encounters with Liu, not that she was part of it.
No, we never joined Liu. She's not exactly how she was back then. She seems to be a mix of my memories of Neo and a certain member of Liu we were closest with. Everyone there was someone I knew of.
If that's people you know of, and not the ones we do, then do you think the fact that you were a major part of simulating them inside the library caused it?
It would make sense. And we're still getting books like I had hoped.
Yeah.
You doing good?
Do not mind me. I'm just thinking of the implications of all of this.
She must have meant a lot to you, huh?
Yes. Yes, she did.
It looks like those 2 are coming back from the entrance. We can theorize what them being people you know means afterwards. We still have guests to receive.
Hopefully they didn't manifest ego while we were looking away, yeah?
Don't jinx yourself.
Well, since Roland wants to jinx it so bad, we are up against Neo and Lixin once again. Inner Turmoil. Inflict twice as much burn from combat pages. When targets hit by attacks from this character take burn damage at the end of the scene they were attacked. They also take stagger damage equal to half of the burn damage. If Lixin dies, all dice gain the effect. Gain +1 power and maximum roll value. If its page cost is 4 or higher, double the effects and gain +1 speed die. Distant fire engulfing the earth. On a successful hit, inflict 1 burn to target and 1 burn to 2 random other enemies. Boost the minimum roll value of all dice by +1 for every 10 burn on all enemies, up to 2. When this character... Yeah. When a die this character plays rolls the minimum value or maximum gain plus... Okay, so those are the same. Everything seems the same except for... DU. Mass individual. On use, this page is exhausted and returns to hand after 3 scenes. On hit, inflict 1 burn 2 times. And on hit, inflict 2 burn. And Lixin. Tactical Warfare. Give this character and an ally 1 strength, 2 protection, and 2 stagger protection at the end of the scene. If Neo dies, reduce the cost of all combat pages in deck by 2 and gain +2 speed die. And these passives seem relatively the same. And so do the pages. So I'm gonna take a wild stab in the dark and say, you are the Zhao of this party. I still don't know why his mask is on. Regardless, let's go. Shotgun Barrage, doing decent damage, all things considered. Knowledge Overflow, unfortunately not working out for us. Wheels Industry, preventing a little bit of damage. Durandal, not getting any use at all. Wheels, also preventing some damage. Combo into Mook Workshop, doing a ton of damage. Maximum Voltage, unfortunately not doing quite as good. Alias Workshop, reducing the power, does help us out quite a bit though. 19 damage coming through. Memories of a Star. Okay. Combo Mook Workshop, also working very, very well. Yeah, there's that combo I was telling you about. These pages might not seem crazy, but let me tell you, they're certainly not feeling good. Okay, I'm gonna go for Absorb Impact. Then, I think Close Combat Preparations could be a really good one. Yeah, let's go ahead and try that. Then, I want to use more combo pages wherever I can. So let's do that. Let's do Old Boys right here. This is a combo page, so I want to use it. Then we can go for Crystal Ulterior, just to prevent some damage. Let's see, what do I really want to do here? Knowledge Acquisition won't pay for itself. Unfortunately, it seems like that's just going to be how it goes. Yeah, that's just how it's going to be. Doesn't feel great to do it this way, but you know what? When we're getting random costs, that's just how it's going to turn out. Okay, Ulterior Logic getting a good amount of damage. Same deal with the second round. And the third round also gets through. Who would have guessed that a literal gun would be so powerful? Knowledge of Knowing, getting through the counter dice relatively easily. Crystal Ulterior, making it so we get a little bit of damage. Close Combat Preparations, it helps. Okay, Old Boy's getting through relatively easily. We are going to take a bit of burn and stagger damage. Absorb Impact is going to give us quite a bit of ammo to work with. I'm going to go for Performance. And then we're going to go for Pulsation as soon as I possibly can.
Knowledge of Noah, and you're going for your mass attack page. So I'm going to attempt to not die to it. We could go for hammer down. And then I can go for analysis of breakthrough armor to get some strength. Let's see. Will's Industry might get through. Mass Individual. I'll just do Zelkova. Likewise, I'll just go for Alias right here. We can go for Durandal. Then I could go for Degraded. Go for another Degraded just so we heal. And I guess that's just going to be our turn. Okay, it hits absolutely everyone on every roll, so that's real unfortunate. Degraded Serum K is going to give us a little bit of healing. Memories of a Star is going to allow us to draw despite everything. We missed that clash by one whole number. Not a pretty turn. Really, really, really not a pretty turn. We're going to go for Scars. And I'm going to do it on the Book Hunter. Okay. As if the stars were so far away, we're going to use that now. Can't use this as much as I want to because we don't have enough knowledge. So we're going to go Memories of a Star to try and prevent a little bit of damage. Also, I'm trying to split my damage between them both so that neither one of them gets their passives. Issue, I don't know how worth it that is going to end up being here. Yeah, and our cost-reducing stuff has not been great. Yeah, really, really not been great. We do prevent a little bit of damage, but I don't think it's going to be enough to keep most of us alive. Ow. Especially with them getting that extra power. Okay, we do get staggered. That extra strength is definitely not helping us at all. Angelica does go down. Alias Workshop reducing reducing power by 2 makes it feel like we reduced it by nothing, and now 3 of us are staggered. Yeah, that's the fight. It is quite literally over at this point, and Sally has gone through her revive. Yeah, that's not good. I mean, we'll play out this round just to see, but I'm very, very confident that we're dead. So, you think you're a wise guy, eh? Well, just for that, it's time to die. The world of spirits. Absolutely crazy amount of damage being done because we did manage to hit the very middle. Astral Resonance dealing quite a bit of damage as well. Probing attack, making it so that we are gonna draw Donkey's Bray. Gonna debuff you next turn. Lean, bloody wings. Okay, unlock. Unfortunately, does not get us Blade unlocked. We only need one more page, and we're Blade unlocked on Not An. Okay, it looks like it's time for Dew. Which is gonna be a little bit scary. Tell you what. Who's performing right now? Literally only Hee-Haw. But, right, hear me out. If we go for Concierto, and then we go for Canine, maybe that'll be good enough. And then we can also go for Unlock, and that is a guaranteed Blade unlocked. Big issue though, we really just don't have a lot of resources to be giving out, so... Rapid recovery should give us a little bit to work with, and then we can go for a Stargaze. Let's swap over to Serum W. Let's see. Expiration W, unfortunately, is not going to work out for us. But we can prevent a little bit of damage if we're careful. This will also act as a mass individual. Or wait. If the cost of this page is more than 4. I see. Okay, so no, apparently we're not going to be able to do that. At least not yet. You know what? Nah, we're just going to go for it. Then I'm going to go for Expiration W. Or Expiration... Yeah, no, it is Expiration W. We can go for Grey Disaster. That might work out for us. Alternatively, Overwhelming Spread would also be really, really good. I'm going to go for Shadow of a Tempest. And then we go for Berserk, just to try and get as much damage as physically possible. And let's hope that this is good enough. Okay. We block the first, and we do block the second as well. Very, very good turn. Expiration W dealing a ton of damage. Go for it again. Very, very good. Z-Cut isn't going to be a mass individual, but that's fine. It dealt just plenty of damage to go with it. Okay, almost got Lixin down. Grey Disaster dealing so much damage. Very, very good. Stargaze is going to help us get our charge up. Counter Dice, almost getting us a stagger. And Unlock becomes Blade Unlocked. Alright, Neo is down. Now we just have to worry about Lixin. We could go for Eternal Rest. And then I'm going to go for Regret. Now, here's the plan. Everyone take your action, but then we are going to go for Regret to get ideally a guaranteed stagger, but we'll see. Okay, Sable Termination, because that's all we had light for. Not enough to get a stagger, but... oh, we might not even need it. I think Regret would have gotten us the stagger, but other people went first, and we managed to win, regardless.
That didn't feel too nice, if I'm being honest.
Agreed. While they were not exactly the same as I remember, that was... Seeing their expressions like that is something I never wish to see again.
Yeah, thinking twice about trying to help Angela... No. Thinking twice about helping Angela with trying to restore the library?
No. I will still continue to help. It's what she would have wanted.
Oh, she sounds really selfless, this Neo person. She doesn't really sound like she belongs in the city. Like, honestly, most characters don't, but you know.
She was one of the best people I've ever met.
Yeah, the city still crushed everything between its gears even back then, huh?
Yes, there was a reason why we left the city for the outskirts and beyond.
How did that go?
It was strange. A big difference to how it was inside the city, that's for sure. But that's a story for another time. I wish to rest for a bit.
Alright, feel free to just, float away. Angela will summon you if needed. You've been silent ever since we finished that reception. Something wrong?
I said that the library would be run in a different way when we finally start receiving guests again all those months ago. Yet it doesn't feel like I've kept to my word at all.
Hey now, no one here is actually dying anymore. At worst, we're just keeping the memory of them alive.
And yet someone is still in pain. Someone has to suffer to keep us moving. Has anything changed at all?
Look, I can't tell you anything about not being a hypocrite. We both know I'm a terrible one, but I can at least tell you this. Even if something doesn't work out the first time, you should keep trying. The pain will be proof that you tried to do something better. At the very least, Osiris doesn't seem to begrudge you for what happened. You know, until he becomes the ego weapon of undoubtedly the next fight. Call it a prediction, but I'm fairly sure that's what's gonna happen.
I guess you're right, in a way. Thank you, Roland. I think I'd like to have some time alone, if you don't mind.
Alright, but don't sweat it too hard. You'll figure something out. Or not.
Yum. Yum. Oh! Oh, wait, no, it's... Aha! There it is.
Whew. This is a pretty sudden summoning, Angela.
Indeed. While I have my own words to say about the entire situation, I feel that it would be most beneficial to let you speak first.
Thank you, Osiris. There's something interesting about the books of the Liu members we simulated. They can't be worn by our librarians.
Wait, what? Why would that be the case? Gebura was able to wear her own book pretty easily. Heck, she was the only one able to wear it at all.
Indeed. I was curious too, so I delved deeper into the intricacies of their books. From what I've gathered, due to the way they were simulated, the incomplete books of the library and the memories of Osiris gave them unique properties, unseen from anything we've encountered so far. While they can't be used in the normal sense, we can still free them inside the library without consequence. Their books keep the content.
Wait, if that's the case, that means we can actually have new people around here to talk to. Seems things are gonna start looking livelier from here on out.
Indeed, and they wouldn't be as shackled as they were before.
To think that even now you'd still find a way to live.
Huh?
The things I planned on saying earlier seems like a moot point now, giving my thoughts and word that I would keep helping even after the first simulation, past the pain of seeing her die once more. But it truly does appear that not even death itself has a hold upon this library, just like you've said. The chance to see her once more fills me with hope. But forgive this old man for being sentimental. I have a feeling you called us for more than just telling us this.
Glad to see you're in a better mood now, at least. Guess having hope of seeing someone long gone does that, huh?
Your feeling would be correct. I wish to start the second simulation.
What are the chances of being able to invite my partner? The different versions of her are quite nice, but they aren't truly her.
Unlikely at the moment. I do not know how many memories you had with the Liu of your time. The only reason we were able to simulate Liu the way we did was due to the amount of books we have concerning them. And boy, is there a lot! We'd need to gather more fragments of your friend to be able to simulate her properly.
Then it appears I must wait before being able to greet her again. Still, Liu was only one of the associations we had met along our travels. Tell me, how confident are you in being able to handle the greatest fixers in Hana from my time?
Seeing as how weak in the library is and how strong the merged memories of the simulation are, I won't lie, I'm a bit worried.
I believe you can handle it, Roland.
I don't even know why I feel surprised.
Oh, wait, what? Oh, wow. Oh, okay, fair. I was expecting something totally different, I gotta be honest. That is such a cute outfit. Oh my goodness. I love this outfit. Gimme. Dude, if I can, If I can, I'm putting that on Sally. I love how that looks. That looks so cool. Alright, anyway. The Hana's Zenith. Also, Tertia Memoria. Yin et Yang. Right. Trigram Cycling. Oh, wait a minute. Wu Chi. Use a special combat page every 3 scenes starting from the 3rd scene. Trigram Cycling. When a die's type, slash pierce, blunt, block, evade, is different from the previous one, it gain +1 power. Gain a random trigram at the start of the scene. At emotion level 3, gain 2 random trigrams at the start of the scene instead. Oh, I like that so much. I prefer random to having to pick them because I always forget to pick them. Trigram Zenith. Gain extra effects from each of the trigrams at the start of combat. Gion. The first combat page used gains an additional effect on Clash Win. Boost next die's power, max value by +3. Gone. Have the amount of status ailments on self rounded up. Gam, recover 6 stagger resist, and recover 5 HP. Double forward march, brace up, heavenly impact. These all look like pretty normal pages. I'm actually not. Oh, is this one new? Trigram Nanite Injection. No, I think these are all pretty normal trigram pages, actually. I think. Adopi. Adopi? Tai Chi. Use a special combat page every 3 scenes starting from the 3rd scene. Taegyuk Circle. If the character has gained emotion points on the previous scene, gain yin or yang at the start of the scene if the character has gained more positive or negative emotion points. Or both if the numbers of emotion points of both types are equal. At emotion level 5 or higher, gain both effects at the start of each scene instead. Peace and Purity. Gain 1 protection and stagger protection at the start of each scene. Gain 1 protection, stagger protection while using a combat page whose original cost is 3 or higher. If it dealt 2 or more successful attacks, gain 1 protection, stagger protection for the rest of the scene once per scene. Gain a special combat page that benefits the user for the scene that they're used. Okay. Double forward march, brace up, heavenly impact, Impetuous Strike. This one seems new. On use, reduce the cost of every copies of Impetuous Strike by 1 for the next scene. On Clash Win, boost the next die's max value by 3, and on hit, inflict 3 fragile. True Taegyuk Circle. Gain additional effects depending on the yin and yang effect during the scene. On hit, recycle this die if the attack is one-sided up to once. Yin. On Clash Win, destroy all the opponent's dice. And on Clash Lose, destroy all dice on this page. And Yang. On hit, deal 3 stagger damage to the target.
Let us begin.
The only way that we know how.
Void Star.
Okay, it does lose 1 of the clashes. Okay, Shockwave working quite well. Venomous Fangs gonna help us out.
Restrain.
Impetuous Strike. Okay, we do get empowered for our next offensive die. Backstreet's Determination, giving us a guaranteed 2 strength. Unlock, actually managing to get through, and let's have some fun! Getting us some much needed light. Okay, now let's go for just a real basic turn of events. I'm gonna go for, you know what, Lift the Mountain actually will work pretty well there. Let's see, I think I could get away with going for Mannequin here. Yeah, you know what, I'm gonna go for Mannequin. Then we can go for Snake's Prey and Venomous Fangs. Venomous Fangs right here. And then we get a guaranteed double draw right here because we do have 2 strength. So we're going to do that right here. Caius, you have... You know what? Let's use the Fragment of Despair for the moment, just to get that out of hand. Then we can go for Empty Dance. That might work out. Sickle of Nil right here, just to get some more damage, and then we let it roll. Okay, Lift the Mountain does end up working once. Empty Dance being overall pretty equal. Snake's Prey ensuring that we're going to have a ton of bleed damage going down. Ordinaries with the double draw. Alerted Anticipation also working out extremely well. Venomous Fangs for more bleed. We don't manage to get the debuff from Mannequin, but that's fine. Straight to the mark, double drawing for us. I'm going to go for Social Distancing on Sheeta, because now I think it's time to swap to block. Okay, we're going to go guard. Boom, we have a ton of extra defensive power. Let's go ahead and go for Bygone, and then I'll just go for a rebuild. Let's go for Watchful Prayer. Okay, it does manage to go on everyone. Now, I'm gonna go for Impartiality, because we're gonna get a ton of power for that. Then we can go for a Straight to the Mark. Let's see, Skin and Debone. It only works if they've lost health. But you know what? I think we can all but guarantee that they do. Let's give 1 strength to everyone. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to clash with anything, so let's just go for a regular unlock. Then, over here with Caius, let's go ahead and draw 2 pages. What are you doing? Let's go for... Let's go for Violent Ire. Then, I think we can get away with only going for a Hollow Spear to recover some of our resources. I'm gonna go for just a regular old Tail Whisk, and then we can use Skin and Debone. Okay, a little bit of value there. Everyone getting the extra strength, not to mention that bleed damage is doing wonders for us. Okay, we do take a tiny bit of damage, that's fine. Rebuild working very nicely for us. Tiny bit of erosion on Neo. Okay, Tail Whisk for some more bleed. Erosion doing good stuff for us, not to mention that extra bleed. We are going to manage to debuff her for next turn. Hollow Spear also dealing quite a bit of damage. We're all but focusing down Neo at the moment. I'm going to go for the different faces for look of the day. And we are ridiculously strong right now. I'm going to go for Shatter the Precipice. Then I'm going to go for a very nice and simple Shockwave. We could already trigger Apostle, so I think I'm going to. We don't have quite enough for Watchful Prayer, so I'm actually just not going to go for it. I actually feel somewhat confident that we can recycle enough die to get through that. Then we go for Impartiality. Then I'm going to go for Opening Ceremony, as well as a Book of Light. Over here, I'm going to go for Greed. I know we're not missing any light, but you know what? It is what it is. Let's go Fragments. And then we can go Void Star, just to really maximize our damage. I'm going to go for Mints, and then Will of the City. And then we wait for Unhappy Face, and we take our turn. Aha! There it is. Okay, Void Star getting rid of the only counter dice that would have been a problem. Shatter the Precipice doing a ton of damage. Mints. It does get a little bit of value, and then Apostle also following suit. Impartiality boosting up our next offensive die. Will of the Prescript just so we get a little bit of our resources back. Fragments going out from Caius. Ideally, it's going to deal quite a bit of damage, but better than that, it sends a message. Alerted Anticipation. We don't have the recycle effect? Huh. Well, that's unfortunate. Alright. I'm gonna go for Alertness on Caius. After all, he is quite alert after previous events. Then, you guys don't have Shimmering, so I can actually make use out of Black Swan.
Hooray! The angel wings bloom and blossom.
Okay, let's lift them out in here, and then I'm gonna go for availing after images, so that we bring Shatter the Precipice, and it only costs 1. Let's see, I'm just gonna go for Black Swan, and just say, Baba Boy, here it is. Everyone gets a buff. Yeah, alerted anticipation here, straight to the mark right here, and then we just let that roll. Let's go ahead and gain a little bit of endurance for next scene, and then let's draw. Then, Crimson, it's your time to shine, girl. Let's go ahead and go for a multi-slash as well as a skin and debone. Then over here on Caius, we are going to go for Empty Dance. Luster should work out just fine, and then we go for a Hollow Spear to restore some of our resources. Wait for the super unhappy face, and here we go. Okay, first one doesn't matter. Second one removes 3 light from both of them next turn. Okay, very, very good. With the amount of defensive dice power that we have, it is unlikely that Sarah loses these clashes. Also, she is currently the highest emotion level on the floor. Well, on our side of the floor. Luster working out pretty well. Empty Dance also rolling so ridiculously high that it's just hard to avoid it. Okay. Iron Wall giving us some extra endurance. Unfortunately, we don't manage to get the killing blow, but that should be alright. Bleed is getting very, very close, though. Skin and Debone, debuffing for next turn. We do take a teeny tiny amount of damage, but I think we should be able to basically finish this fight. You know what? How many counter dice do you have? None? Then you're dead. Boom, boom, dead. Then, let's get some endurance. Let's go for Path of Conviction. You know what? I think I'm just going to go pure aggressive here. Let's live on for you. Impartiality, no. Straight to the mark. And then we go Alerted Anticipation. Then, Crimson, you are going to debuff and bleed. Caius, you should be fine to just go for an Empty Dance, a Violent Ire, and we'll finish it with an Empty Resolution. And then, just in case that's not enough, we are also going to go for Shatter the Precipice.
And if you weren't dead before, you're dead now.
Ow. Okay, there we go. Neo is down. Restrain, and a stagger. That right there is the fight. Nice. Unfortunately, we did have to kill, some more innocent memories of people, but, it is what it is.
What's wrong, Roland? I heard...
Ooh, I can't get deep enough anymore.
I heard the library had dealt with Hana before.
I don't think we should talk to each other for a while.
Oh, come on. They weren't that bad. You won, didn't you?
And so, what are the chances Osiris can still help us while he's booked? Asking for a friend?
The friend in question. Oh, that's good. That's funny. I like that.
Very dangerous friend who has black gloves and a streak of vengeance a mile wide.
Uh-oh.
Roland, Osiris, if you two don't have anything better to do, then please make your way to the reception area. I'm sure the two of you would enjoy the bonding experience of having to be the guests the library has to receive.
No, Angela. No need to threaten us like that.
Yeah, we were just messing around.
Do you two have anything of importance to say then?
Actually, yeah. I'm more curious about how they were able to use trigrams like that. Not even an old friend of mine could use them like that. And he was one of the toughest fixers I've ever had the joy of working with.
I do not know myself, actually, but I have a feeling their books would have more intricate details of their story.
Even if it doesn't, it's been proven that this is a worthwhile endeavor. Do you have any ideas for what the third simulation should be?
Nothing comes to mind at the moment. You'll have to show me the books around here personally to see if any of them brings anything to mind. Because both the library and I need to be connected with the simulated guests. It might take a while before we find something.
Can we start searching through books another time, though? Having to deal with powerful guests back to back takes a bit of a toll.
Yeah, tell me about it. Speak your piece, Roland. Agreed. We can start another time. Oh. And for the moment, that seems to be that. Unless it's like hidden underneath somewhere here, but with that, I believe that's gonna do it for this episode of The Library of Ruina. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. And I have a few plans for what's gonna show up in the next few episodes, but we'll just have to see when we get there, won't we? But let's just say I have a rather big mod in mind. If you know, you know. If you don't, then I sound absolutely insane. But that's fine. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. And also, if you would like your build adjusted now that I've shown them off, please do let me know. I'm always open to the idea of you guys having your own customized builds. Like, for example, Gregory Adalis. Ideally, I would like him to be a lot more burn-themed, but he wanted an RNG build, and I figure there's no better RNG than Pluto. And then the other example I have is Sombor, who wanted me to swap a few things around, and so we have. But, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you
In the next one.
Bye.